No,
like,
no,
but
of course not.
yeah,
But I think also that's a little bit of the difference, Omar, between, interviewing at the professional environment and the amateur environment. A lot of times the amateur environment, you're interviewing with a board or a director who hasn't had any experience with goalkeeping whatsoever. And at the professional level, you're dealing with somebody who's been around the game at such an elite level. They have a strong foundation of everything.
Yeah, I think at the amateur level, they're just trying to have someone come in and just provide goalkeeper training. If I'm being honest, just
yeah,
to give some sense of a department at the club. So, like you said, they're kind of novices. They don't really know the position that well, so you really can get away with a lot of things. But again, the piece of advice that Steve and Rick gave me was, you're not doing this presentation for them. You're doing it for yourself, so you can have all your ideas and all your thoughts on
yeah,
paper. And it's there, and you can always reflect and go back to it and continue to add on to it. And I think that is the advice that I'll give to any young coach is, like, no matter what setting you're in, as soon as you can, if you want to use my stuff as a template, you can, and, like, fill in your own ideas of how you see the position and the goalkeeper in that role. That's how I would go about it. And then from there, you start to add on. And then when that conversation does come with people who are a little bit more, I guess, understanding of goalkeeping at the next level. I mean, John wasn't a goalkeeper, but obviously he comes in, he's very scary sometimes. He'll come in with, like, his iPad and his pen, and, like, sometimes, like, when I was presenting this to him, he was, like, I was saying things, and he would just be writing stuff down, and I'm like, oh crap, like, did I say something stupid? Did any experience that he's had with another goalkeeper coach, is he probably just me comparing me to them? I don't know. It was all these things, but for me in that moment, I felt very prepared because
right,
it took me a month to make this, I've been working on it my whole life, right? But, like, it's up here. And then now you actually sit down for a month, and, like, after a week you go, oh, that's not good enough. I can reword this. I even presented it to my parents. And I was just like, hey, what do you think about this? And my dad was like, oh, it sounds good, but you can take this out, you can take that out. So I think just consulting with people who aren't just in goalkeeping either, in business as well, to give you a better sense of, like, okay, can I trim the fat a little bit? Is this saying too little? Is this saying too much? But really taking the time to dive into it. And then I think using stuff like what I have here as, like, a template, or anybody else who's in this field. And you guys do a good job with guests who come on and, show their presentations, and using that as a template. And I think that's another thing too. You don't have to start from scratch. There are people out there who have done this 1,000 times better than you will probably ever do it. It's good to look at their stuff and say, oh, okay, I can get an idea from this. I can get an idea from this. I can reword this to reflect a little bit of what I like to do. And I think from there, over time, you'll start to, fine tune it.
Dude, one thing first off made my head explode that you said right there, and I'd never even thought about that before, and is so freaking brilliant. And that is that this deck is for you. It's not for them. And you're just simply using it as a kind of a template to bounce ideas off during the conversation. I mean, dude, you just made my head explode right there. It's made me rethink how to go about interviews in the future.
Well, I also think it's there, so like Omar said, it'll keep you kind of on point and everything. So when you're going in an interview, like, you have it in front of you. Say, this is my philosophy. This is how I see things. Obviously, you're open to feedback. And I would say the one thing, if you're going into an interview, please know who you're going to be coaching. And do your research as well. And maybe the mindset of the coach that you're going to be meeting with, or the GM or whatever, and their team philosophy, so you can understand. But I think that, it's there this is you. This is how you envision things. It's not how you think they want you to see it. It's how you see it.
Yeah.
And you can see it, like,
go ahead, Omar.
No, even like this quote, it was something that I had, I think during COVID, I had an episode with Phil Wedden, and he said this. He said, look at the moment in the match. This is like for training philosophy and how you go about creating your sessions. And he says, look at the moment in the match and ask, in this situation, what options does the player on the ball have? Then go to the end point and recreate the picture from there. And I think that was, again, through a podcast conversation with somebody like Phil Wedden, they throw an amazing idea that maybe would have taken me a year, 2 years, 3 years to figure out or put it into a concise way. And now I'm, like, hearing it and I'm applying it within a day. And I think that was the beauty of the COVID time, but also too, for me to recognize, oh, wow, there's a lot of people out there who have tried and true, done these things, fine-tuned it over time and had the solutions. How do I think as a young coach, I don't have that experience? So I think that was also something that really humbled me to realize, put the work in, those experiences will come and you'll have them in your back pocket. And you can only go so far listening to other people's experiences. But my advice, listen to the experiences, put them in your back pocket. And then when you're in those experiences yourself or something similar or something that resembles it, now you have not just what you think in that emotional state, but also to what somebody else said, and you couple those two, and hopefully you can spit out something that's going to be somewhat useful to the goalkeeper.
One thing in regards to this, Saskia, when I'm just thinking about it here, is that a mistake that I've made, at least personally, is that when I've gone into this type of a process, and Omar just brought this up in regards to knowing where you are, I think a mistake I've made is that I've tried to present myself as either further along in my journey, or trying to present myself as somebody who I am not, as in like, this is not, I'm pretending to be a concept as opposed to just being true to who I am.
No, I mean, I keep coming back to it, like honesty, honesty, some humility and everything, like, because the minute you try to present yourself as something that you're not or more than you are, it'll bite you in the ass.
Yeah, Omar, I want to talk about this right here, because I think, one of the cool things is obviously is there's a lot of great information here. And I think, one of the mistakes that a lot of, and I'm not trying to focus on all the negatives here, but I know there's a lot of coaches here who are going through the interview process, who are probably watching this right now and learning through trial and error, is that they try to, and maybe this is something you did back in the day, they tried to share everything that they put in all these slides. They just going through every single one, and they're reading through these, and they're sharing, and they're giving it, and it just becomes information overload, right?
Yeah, like go back to the other one, Mike.
This one?
No.
Yeah, see, all Todd is getting from this is that you look good, Omar.
To the left, go back.
Did anybody see that? Did anybody see that comment? Thanks, Todd. I'm here too.
Oh, Todd. But like, for example, under the defending category, I put an efficient communicator with an ability to pair optimal starting positions with risk-averse anticipation. Risk-averse anticipate, like, it sounds good. Like, of course it does. Like, it makes sense when you read it. But then, like, how do I coach risk-averse anticipation for it to make sense to the goalkeeper? And I think that is, whether that's through video, whether that's, again, too, like, video helps, but also, too, allowing the goalkeeper to have a safe space to try their starting position. Okay, well, they played a pass back. The center back has a ton of time. Why are you sitting on, the PK spot? Why aren't you not recognizing that there's no pressure on the ball? Step up a little bit higher. And it's like, those are risk averse, right? But like on paper, it sounds cool. But then you have to find a way to communicate that to the goalkeeper and give them little nuggets here and there. And then sometimes too, you deal with goalkeepers who are a little bit, head cases, and you kind of go, oh crap, they're not responding well to what I'm saying. How do I communicate with them? And it's like, those are the things they don't teach you at school or like in licensing in the courses. And I feel like that emotional intelligence really goes a long way when it comes to applying a lot of the things that you would have in a presentation.
It's funny that you said that while you're bringing that up, because now I'm going to put up the coaching profile right here, Saskia. I think a lot of times when you're getting interviewed, and I know, I've gone through a lot of interviews, Saskia,
I was kidding.
Okay. But at least when I've been in them, I've started learning, the more and more I've done them, that they're trying to learn to see, how are you going to behave once we hire you? So are you presenting yourself in a certain manner in the interview process, and then you act differently once you get out there? Mm-hmm. Or are you sharing who you are as a coach, so that we get a glimpse of like, this is what we're hiring?
Well, it's the same as what I said. It's like, are you putting on something fake? You're going to get called out. Are you telling people what they want to hear? Is this truly who you are? Is this truly what you believe in? Or are you just saying this to get hired and then turn around and you're totally a different type of coach than they thought they interviewed, different philosophy, not fitting into their philosophy, like, because you just told people what they wanted to hear in the beginning?
Well, I was just going to say, Omar, like right here with this coaching profile right here, like basically in the interview, you basically have to be self-aware, humble, with self-regulation and self-motivation. You have to be able to showcase that that's who you are. Otherwise, you're lying on this paper.
Absolutely. And I think that's those are the things that, I don't know, not a lot of people in the way the coaching world and like how fast things are and with games on the weekend, we don't really have time to like sit down and master each one of these all together. So I think it's so important for me, at least, to have written all these things down to like recognize, okay, self-awareness, how am I doing in that category this month? Okay, with humility, how am I doing in this? Self-regulation, self-motivation. And I think you go through periods throughout a season where like your self-motivation may not be there, but like from there you're self-regulating and you're aware that the self-regulation needs to be heightened a little bit so that the self-motivation and all of that pieces together. And I feel like having this all written down allows me to hit like a checklist and recognize, oh, I'm faltering a little bit here. I can pick this up. I can pick that up. And I think that in itself regrounds you a little bit and like recenters you. So these things for me are super important to come back and visit every now and again.
I mean, dude, this is brilliant. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anybody in their presentation and their philosophy put this in there. I think this is really, really massive. So kudos to
My
you.
dad.
Look at that. I say that, and you're right there. It's amazing. Hello. What's up? What's up?
What's going on? Thanks for having me on.
We're waiting for Sus to come on here any second right now. She said, "Give me a minute." And we'll see if that's really a minute or if that's like 10 minutes. That's 5 minutes.
However many minutes.
Yeah, however many minutes. That's why we always have like B-roll from the last episode playing. Well, it's not really B-roll because it's actually the last episode playing, so that people aren't just sitting there like listening to me like do that or like hum or anything like that, like while we're waiting. Okay, so I will let her know that you are here. Okay, Coolio Glenn is here. Let me know if See, that's what happens. Did you just hear what I just started doing?
Yeah.
I started going like So that's why literally somebody suggested that. They're like, hey, you should just like play like an old episode so no one's listening to any of that. And so let's see.
As long as you're not offended by it.
No, I'm not offended by it. By the way, do you have headphones by any chance?
I think Dom just took them actually.
Oh, Dom.
I know.
Unbelievable. You guys share a pair of headphones?
No, but mine were on the table just here, and she was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna take these and go to the gym." And I was like, "Okay."
Hilarious. Okay, hold on. Look who's here.
Hey.
Yo.
Look at that.
What's up?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
We're looking to see if Kailen's got another set of headphones.
Let me take a look.
All right.
Okay.
Oh man. Oh boy. By the way, I started humming again when she came back on, when I was texting you. So that's
So you're back to humming?
well, that's why we have the old episode playing.
Oh.
So that people don't hear that.
I was running around. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. I have an excuse though. I'm not all there right now, so
Why are you? Where are you?
Well, no, I'm still recovering.
Oh, from your head?
From
Whatever,
from my
Mike.
head. Yeah.
Come on, you're a goalkeeper.
I know.
You just gotta take it.
You got about 11 more till you catch up with me. So
wow. Yeah, it was just, I'm pretty much fine now, except for a little bit of light sensitivity. And I can't read like more than like a couple sentences at a time before it just like it hurts my eyes. So, but other than that, I'm fine. All right.
That's not good.
Not good. Any luck, Kailen?
I can't find them. I texted her.
All good.
So
Let's just do it.
All right.
We'll just do this. Here we go. Welcome to Inside the 18. I'm Michael Magid, live from Hollywood, California. with me, back from an insane 1000th NWSL game and an incredible NWSL weekend, the one and only 99 World Cup winner and CBS Paramount Plus analyst Saskia Weber. And joining us, somebody that knows a little bit about the NWSL, the one and only Kailen Sheridan is returning to Inside the 18. What is up?
What's going on?
I know we
Kailen,
gotta grab her. We gotta grab her now before like the summer, before everything, before you get untouchable.
Nah, never that.
Okay, what is this for you now? Like your 5th time on the show?
Something like that. Something crazy. We might be off one hand by now.
Oh my gosh.
One hand. I love it.
That's insane. I mean, obviously, before we kind of get into today's topic and everything like that, which is a really good topic about processing pictures, let's just talk a little bit about, the NWSL, that's kind of the beginning of the season, everything like that. It's been really successful on all ends. Obviously that insane goal by Bella Bigsby this weekend, as the goalkeeper union, we all kind of have to smile on that one.
Yeah,
Ronaldo
Edie's not smiling,
deal.
I'm sure.
Well, that wasn't in her
it's a
game. That wasn't in her game.
No, but I mean, a goalkeeper scores against a goalkeeper. It's a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow.
That's true.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It is.
You want to be excited, and then you also like, oh, I know that's got to be hard.
Yeah, that's how I thought too. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's definitely not fun for Didi. That is for sure. But I wanted to keep it on a positive spin.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to keep it on a positive spin.
Here we go.
With all that, all right. Let's pivot. Let's change. Let's change
the other way.
Let's go a different direction. Saskia, what a crazy weekend though. You were having fun a lot this weekend. You were at the 1000th doing the 1000th game. So shout out to the league. 1,000 games. That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it really was. And just like, just to see where it started and even what started before the NWSL, and to see, 20,000 people in stands now and everything that's going on. And even, just talking to other players and coaches and knowing that there was times, that did you ever think you're going to get to 1,000 games? No, but now it's just expansion and growth and definitely 1,000 more and then some. So it's just really incredible to see, to be a part of, to be honest.
I mean, speaking of expansion, Kailen, obviously, you were at Gotham, a couple years back. Then obviously the expansion happened to San Diego. And let's just say that first year was pretty darn successful.
It was definitely a really good start for the club. But, they set everything up properly from the beginning. And that's how you start off being successful. I think it took teams a while to get there. And I think because of the way they built the club and everything around it, it made it easier for us to just focus on the game and be the best that we could have been. And Casey put together an incredible squad from the beginning. So we had the upper hand on that part.
But you started this season. Other than, the game this weekend, you started this season again, so you don't even look like a second year expansion team. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. We don't feel like an expansion team anymore. We're really comfortable in the league, and I think we brought players in too that just are going to help us raise the level. And from the level that we were last year, that means that we're going all the way in our minds. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing less than the top for us. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is how we set it up and how Casey set it up. She demands a certain standard from everybody within the club and not just the players. And I think we all just want to prove that that's what we're capable of, and we know it, and so it's our time to show it. We want to show everybody, and we know people are constantly going to doubt us because of expansion team, okay, second year, you got to give them. We don't want to hear those excuses. We don't want to make them for ourselves, and we don't want people to make them for us.
I'm waiting for you to say that. I picked you guys to win it. I got a lot of heat for that one at the draft, at the end of the draft.
Right.
I don't know why that's a crazy thing.
I picked. They said, Sask, who do you think? I said, I'm going to go with San Diego. And then, of course, let's just say my co-owners are like, what? And I was like,
didn't you get a text that said San Diego?
That was my argument. My argument was, what was I supposed to do? I just had to speak my truth, everybody.
Hey, that's why they hired you. They hired you to be honest on the air.
That's right.
You asked for it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh my gosh. Well, Kailen, why don't you catch some people up that might not be familiar with kind of what's been going on with you, this past year. Obviously, the move to San Diego, like we were just talking about. Canada ramping up, getting ready for the World Cup. You were just in France just a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. My favorite thing is I was texting you. I was like, "Hey, are you down to go on the pod this week?" You're like, "I'm a little busy, kind of in France."
I was like, yeah, I would love to when I get back. I just am 9 hours ahead of you guys, and when you wake up, I'm going to bed.
And we know Mike doesn't like getting up too early. So
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, we once had a meeting at 7 a.m. Let's just say that did not work out well. It was a lot of like slurring and stumbling.
Never when we're in Europe can we do it.
Got it. Check.
Maybe East Coast, and that's might be pushing it.
But let's talk about that a little bit before we kind of get into the
Yeah.
topic here, because like the thing is that like you're now a grizzled veteran on the Canadian women's national team. I know it's crazy to say that. You're still obviously a pretty young goalkeeper, but you're kind of a leader now. You're kind of a leader going into this World Cup, you know, and people are expecting big things out of you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I've been working really hard for this role, and I've been dreaming about it, and I've been really excited to be given the opportunity, but also I know that I've earned it at this point, and that I'm ready to step in and lead the team. And I know that my goals we're all on the same level with our goals. And I think we've all been pushing for the same thing. And we have such interesting, like, competitiveness within the depth of the Canadian team right now. I think like we've had some real bad luck with injuries, but to see players come in at younger ages, players who like maybe haven't had a chance yet to come in hot and be competitive is really exciting for me as well. Just stepping in and just having my first opportunity to really take on this bigger leadership role. And for me, that's just really exciting. Obviously, I'm pumped for the World Cup, and my sights are set on number one for sure, nothing less. But I'm also really excited for the future. I think it's just been an exciting few months to see what's going on within the depths of us and what we're capable of over the next few years, let alone this year.
Yeah. So, were you about to say something?
No, I was unmuting.
Oh, you were unmuting.
Yeah.
You were unmuting. I thought you were gonna add on something about Canada right there.
Yeah, go ahead. What you got? Lay it in.
Oh no, I'm all good. Look, you know, Canada's always going to compete, and you know, and we know that. Especially, I know that playing against Canada. So I've said it over and over again. This World Cup is going to be really interesting, and there is no, you know, forget FIFA rankings. Like it's anybody's game really in the top tier of, you know, Canada could win it.
Absolutely.
England could win it. Holland could win it, you know.
Everybody's stepping up, man. Everybody.
Yeah, just with the way soccer is around the world right now, you know, professionally, now it's just closed the ranks, period. I mean, it's such an even playing field now because, you know, it used to be that the US used to be kind of so far ahead because we had the college game and it was more organized than like any other country's pro. And
Absolutely.
so, but now because professional is so just amazing around the world, everything's even.
Yeah, it's definitely bringing everybody up to par and going to make it really interesting and really competitive. And it'll be one of the best World Cups to watch so far.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So Kailen, I have a question for you right here, you know, kind of in regards to kind of your maturation as a goalkeeper. Obviously, you've been working on a lot of different things in the last few years, you know, and one of the things that Louis was saying that, you know, is something that's been very prevalent in your game lately is being able to process pictures really, really quickly. What was kind of like the genesis of that? Because I thought you were processing pretty darn fast, in my opinion, considering you were on Guardian's list of the top 100 players in the world and one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So not sure how far you can go from there, but.
I mean, Casey and Louis have challenged me. Bev and Jen at Canada, like they've all been working together, which has been massively helpful for me as well, just to be able to bounce between the two environments kind of fluidly. And they've all kind of challenged me to take that processing to another level and be able to find and scan and just read the numbers, the advantage numbers faster, and find where I can see the play developing before I even play the next pass. Mm-hmm. Like kind of not predict it, but in a way predict it and kind of see like, okay, if I'm going to play the 6 right now, I'm going to want her to bounce out to the outside back who can then play into the 10 down the wing, you know, like as the winger's mm-hmm. running inside, you know. They're like, can you kind of find those numerical advantages earlier so that you can lead the play into those plays? And I mean, I've always wanted to play out and play kind of short and entice the press. And so that kind of builds into what I want to do already. But finding those things where like maybe I want to entice the press, but I was just doing it to like get to the 2 passes later. They're trying to get me +4, +5. What's the next play? What are their options? If this is the one I see, what are the 2 other options that I can find? And I mean, I was just doing film before I left the facility today with Louis, like looking at, okay, you saw the numerical advantage. What did you think was going to play out? And was it the same thing that actually happened? And just like, was it a technical error? Like, was it a mistaken pass that kind of made it fall apart? Or was it, you saw it and maybe we need to communicate something different to them so they can see it as well?
Yeah. You know, and one of those things that you just said right there in regards to like the 4 or 5 and all those different options, you know, Saskia, you know, obviously yourself, you know, being in the analyst chair, you know, now as a pundit, you can kind of, you know, you see so much game film and you're seeing so many different systems and everything like that. You know, when you're playing at that level, is it such an advantage to have a goalkeeper that can almost dictate the way the other team's going to play?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, it's a chess match if it's done right. Okay, it is. And, you know, as an elite goalkeeper and at a certain level, and when I say it's a chess match, it's because chess is set up so it's what is the 3rd, 4th, 5th move, just like Kailen said. You know, it's not, you know, it's the proactive, not reactive that I always say. How am I setting our team up for success? The past, but what's the end goal of this and everything? And that's just the next level. That's just period. And we all know you're the next level of goalkeeping. But yes, it's an advantage. And that's the difference between you have a goalkeeper back there. That's a good shot stopper and stuff. But how are they affecting the game? How are you playing into the game? You're not just back there. You're not just chilling, you know, saving the shot. But it's what you're passing, your communication, your organization of your defense, everything to help your team succeed.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's like massive. Is we looked at like statistically in Canada, when I'm playing for Canada, like the shots against aren't honestly that high. Like we don't see much. We have a really solid defense. We have real gritty defenders, but that doesn't mean I'm completely out of the game. Like there's definitely more aspects where I can be involved and I can help develop the play, especially with the midfielders that we have who are such good dribblers and who want the ball at their feet. So how can I play higher up, give more opportunity for them to get on the ball, give more opportunity for our center backs to get even higher and more involved in the play. And just, yeah, really it's about giving them more opportunity and more options for me to look at the numerical advantages 1-2 passes ahead. And sometimes it's not going to work. It's not going to work how I see it and how I want it to happen, or I'm playing out to a center back to try and get it back. And they go out to the outside back. Like they see different pictures than I do, but it's okay. We look back at the film and this is what I saw. And this is the numerical advantage that I'm seeing. Can I have this conversation with them next time and show them that clip and be like, if you play that little pass, this changes the entire play.
And you also have to remember the IQ of the other team. So is the other team, it's a chess.
Yeah, it is.
So are they showing you something to make it look enticing to you to actually invite, you know, that 3rd pass that they know they're going to get and then shove it down your throat? So you've got to play that part of the game as well. This might look too good to set this up right here.
Definitely.
By the way, you two are such tactically astute goalkeepers. I literally don't have to do anything this entire episode. I can literally sit here and you guys can drive the bus and I can just recover. I laugh because I have to rewatch the games. And so sometimes I listen to the analysts when I do my, like, when somebody makes a save or something, and I think I like kind of go blank and I just start goalkeeper talk, like really intense. And I know you guys would get it, but then afterwards I'm like, I don't know if anybody understood anything I just said. Right? Well, I mean, I watch all the broadcasts. I'm getting it. I'm like, this is for me.
Yeah,
Jessica's talking to me right now.
I'm talking to all the keepers out there.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Kailen, before we kind of move on here, there's a question here in the comments section, and it is regarding adjustments from this weekend. Are you cool with bringing that up?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Okay, this is from Ellie Mout, and Ellie, please tell us where in the world you're watching the show from, because we always like to hear. It sounds like you enjoy being used as a field player, Kailen. When do you feel like it doesn't work? Given what happened against Orlando Pride, how is Wave adjusting?
Yeah, I think with I'll start with the second part of that. First of all, like, we had a game plan that we did not, and I think all of our opinions today especially went through it. We don't agree that we fulfilled it to the best of our abilities, and we think if we had stuck more in tune with what the game plan was, we would have been more successful. But sometimes it's a little uncomfortable and a little bit feels like it's not working in the moment, and so you try to make adjustments and instead of just sticking to the game plan and having a little bit more patience with it. So I think in our adjustment, it's more of a trust and belief in ourselves and a patience with ourselves to believe that maybe it doesn't feel right in the moment, or it doesn't feel, yes, San Diego.
San Diego, I see it too.
It's okay. I think, like, in the moment, it doesn't feel the most comfortable or feel like it's being effective, or something just doesn't feel right. It's okay to, like, be patient with it and be uncomfortable and allow yourself to kind of get into the rhythm where I think we had a couple times where we went off page a little bit, and that kind of screwed the rest of the game plan up for ourselves. So ultimately we kind of shot ourselves in the foot in the easiest way I can say that possible. And I do enjoy that my team uses me as a field player as much as possible. I want to bring the pressure so that we can be more of a 11v10 in situations, as much as we can. But yeah, I think sometimes it does make it difficult to process fast how many numerical advantages are in front of me, where they are, how close I'm playing. That all has to be taken into account, and that's something I'm going to continue to push and work on. And we worked on it today as a back six collectively, and I think that's really important that we have that kind of trust and synchronization between that. Like, they know what I'm seeing, thinking, I know what they're feeling, thinking, kind of where they want the ball, kind of situations, and they can't see what I'm seeing. So at the end of the day, they have to kind of understand what I'm looking at, and trust me.
Yeah. You know, Saskia, I want to bring this up with you right there, you know, in regards to what Kailen's saying right here, because, you know, that trust thing is so massive, so massive, so massive. I notice a lot of young goalkeepers, when they jump up a level, they lose that trust, because the game is moving faster than they're used to. So instead of, you know, being like, oh, but this is going to happen like this or whatever, the game's moving too fast, and so they're overthinking. Is that something you've come across?
Well, I think everything takes just an adjustment period, and it's not just for the goalkeepers, for the field players as well. And you know, as a team, you grow together. Look, as far as this weekend and stuff, I think what you said is great. Like, you got to stick to your plan and your philosophy, and sometimes it's not going to work. You know, it's not like, you know, you guys just decide not to get out of bed on this weekend. You know, right. So you kind of say, you take a step back in practice, you readjust, you say what went wrong, how come we weren't clicking here, but you don't just take out the engine and put a whole new one in. You just tweak the little things, and sometimes you're just going to have those days, and that's what you had.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we just had a bad day, and we all took ownership, and I think we have a great opportunity, like, in our meetings, to address those kind of things. Casey gives a good environment for us to, like, just attack it head on. Her first thing is always that we're gonna attack goals first. What happened? What went wrong? Let's break it down immediately, and then we can move forward. And for me, that, like, personally, I appreciate that, because I would rather just, like, get it out in the open. Let's everybody get it down, and then put it away and move on. Right? Like, let's just attack it and then move on. I think that's, like,
Paisley agrees.
See? They get it. Everybody gets it. It's easy. I think it's the best way to just, like, address it, and then we can move forward and just acknowledge what happened. There's nothing wrong with the mistakes. It's just growth period. I mean, I think we have to take it and learn from it. And I think the problem is if you don't learn from it, then you're just going to continue to do it. But
also, if you don't have that open communication and that trust, like we're saying, within the team, because if you can show it, you guys can go over it and everything. But if you got somebody sitting over here, like, in the back of the head, like, look, that was her fault. you know, like
Yeah.
and just you don't have that connection. Trust nothing's ever going to get fixed.
Oh, absolutely
No.
not. I think my favorite part of the session this morning was that when we went through a clip, Kate said, "What happened?" That's all she asked. What happened in this? And it was one of the goals. And there was like 4 of us who were like, "Well, I could have done this better." And then somebody else said, "Well, I could have done this better." I'm like, see how we all said something? Like, it took many different pieces for this thing to happen. Like, it's not one person ever. And she kind of addressed that full heartedly. And it was great that we have the kind of people who are willing to do that and be like in a vulnerable kind of embarrassing state
Right.
where I made a really big friggin' mistake.
But that's part of the pictures as well.
Yeah.
To bring it back to the theme, Mike, because I know you always do that, but that's part of the pictures, and pictures aren't just positive, it's negative. You know, you have to be able to break it down on both sides and say, what could we have all done better as a group? What went wrong here? And if you did this right, then you play off her here. And now, you know, this is shut down over here. So,
Absolutely.
you know, it's pictures are negative and positive.
Yeah, I think that's a hard to like accept too sometimes. Like even I personally, like I want to try things, and that's amazing. And I was having this conversation with Jill the other day. I was like, I'm trying things, and usually I'm really like, I'm happy and I'm successful most of the time. I'm like, wow, that worked, you know, like I'm impressed almost that I even tried something. But I felt like the last few games were kind of, I was like, oh, I'm trying crazy things that just aren't playing. Like they're just not coming off, and I'm looking kind of like I'm doing something stupid, you know? And I was talking to her about it, and she was like, well, why don't we need to still look at those pictures. Like I see your thinking now, like I see the numerical advantage. I see maybe it's the technical piece. Like maybe we need to just work on this specific technical piece of your play. Like it's not what you're looking at. It's different things. And we were literally just talking about like individually having to look at not just the positives, but the negatives when you're trying things and being okay with it.
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of talking about, looking at all of this, I want to throw this up here right now, and shout out to Louis first for sending us a little bit of training footage right here. But no, these are some great pictures at sessions, because I think, looking at game film and looking at session design film is a little bit different in regards to, maybe you have a little bit less of for lack of a better term, a real environment in the session design. We try to make it as realistic as possible, but it's still a little bit scripted. What are we seeing right here, Kailen, and how does this help you process in real time in games?
We were just doing some in possession, and then as soon as Louis took his touch between the mannequins, it was out of possession. So it was being able to turn right from an in possession moment, and just working on different things with our left, especially left feet. Turning it back over to an in possession and getting that mindset.
I like this drill.
If Saskia was coaching right now, she'd be, oh, look at that hockey save right there.
Yeah, but I don't run anymore, so I would have to get somebody. I have to get somebody to be Louis right now, and I'd be standing there with my arms closed behind or something. So, but I still like the drill.
Yeah, it's a good one. I think it's good it was like our warm up, a good like quick decision making. Kind of what do you want to do with the ball while you have it, and he was like challenging us to like move it quickly, make decisions quickly, and then as soon as he played that ball, being able to kind of predict the next touch and like off the board, even though the board maybe doesn't give you much of an indicator. So it's even better to see like where is he moving, what can I see with his movement, and that's more important in those situations at that point.
That's what I was gonna say. I said part of that is you with the wall, but you can get ahead of it with the picture of where's he at. So like, and we talked about this the other week, Michael, we were breaking down a shot off a cross, and I was saying, watch the head. Who are we talking to? Watch the head of the player, because the head and everything got there before the ball did. Like he had a full picture of what was going on. He knew where the player was, and everything like that made the save a lot easier. And so that's it. You can't, it's, again, proactive, not reactive. If you just went from the wall and didn't pay attention to where he was, he's going to beat you probably 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, definitely.
One thing I want to bring up right here, which I really like, is just the simple fact is that, like, and I think this is one of the problems, Kailen, that happens a lot of times with younger goalkeepers, is like when they're processing a picture, they're looking at like 17 different things as opposed to simplifying, like, what is the context of all these triggers and cues, because they all come together to create the action. And instead they're looking at 17 different things and saying, how do I deal with that? How do I deal with that? How do I deal with that?
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think it's being able to make decisions in that in possession and then change it really fast.
So,
And that
so where are we
one's-
going now?
This one's a little different.
This just looks like it's just straight on direct, and then what's going on? And then you drop back for depth. Oh boy, is that a jug machine?
It is a jug machine.
How did
Oh.
you know that from not seeing anything? Like, how did you
Look
know
how
that
fast
was a
it comes.
jug
Look how
machine?
look how fast it comes. in.
It does. I mean, if we had someone like that at practice every day too, that'd be helpful.
See?
But it does come in really hot. We have the mannequin there as well because I think we looked at like a lot of the goals conceded in like the last 6 months specifically with me, and I think it was something crazy, but like a lot of them were through traffic where I couldn't see anything, and just balls flying through off volleys and second phase kind of things. And so we were like, let's hide the machine, put it at a pace where I can't see it, and have them skipped in.
But with
Oh, I
the
love
quality of your goalkeeping, honestly, that is how you're going to get scored on. The truth is, like, I like
But
look, people.
I mean, if that's
listen.
what we got to do, we got to break it down now.
Listen, the bottom line is that's true. I would be like, if you're going to give me a clear look at the ball, you're going to save the ball every time. You know, and so you are going to get scored on, and those are going to be the goals against you, or when you're screened, when it gets redirected, melees in the box, you know.
Yeah,
that's how you're getting scored on.
It is how I'm getting scored on. We're trying to address it head on.
I love it. It's good.
Before we go on to this, there's a question here from Joel Yanez, and please also, Joel, tell us where you're watching the show from. But this is a long one here.
Your goal kicks are amazing. They are.
Your goal kicks are amazing. From what I've seen, one of the biggest challenges for the youngest goalkeepers. What would be your biggest tip for improving goal kicks range at a young age? P.S. FIFA 23 got the kicking stats down bad. And thanks for always being so cool to us fans.
Oh,
that's so sweet.
Thanks. Man, look at all the San Diego love.
I love it. What's up, San Diego?
Got the Kailen Sheridan fan club.
I mean, it's for the city, by the city, right here. But I don't know. For goal kicks, I think if we're talking about longer range, it's just something that I've always like worked on off the field, like not in practice. That's something that you just got to do on your own so much, and put it's just about the work that you put in. I don't think it's about like doing extra weights in the gym, and I'm sure a lot of strength and performance coaches will tell me I'm wrong about that. But for me, it's more about the I think it's technique based. Like
I agree.
Completely like practice, repetition, and technique. Like I go out before games some days, and like I just mishit it. And so like as much as you want to do all these things, like it's not about how much you can lift and all that. It's about how you hit it. So I think it's about finding the best way for you to hit it, and like your steps, and then creating that consistency within it, so that every time you step up for that goal kick, you're able to do it. And now I'm trying to doing it with the left as well. Like, how can I get that consistency back?
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, look at like any other sport as well, football kicker, like stuff like that. Yeah. Like it's repetition. It's getting your rhythm down, your steps down, and repeating it. Absolutely. You're not under pressure. Nobody's running at you on the goal kick and stuff. So if you have a solid game plan, a solid repetition, solid everything down, just do it. Just do it. And I think also getting away from that. You know, you teach a lot of coaches out there teach young goalkeepers kind of to chip the ball in a sense, just because they want them to get under it so they get it over the first line of defense, right?
Right.
And the first attacking line. Well, that's not it. That's not what Kailen. That's not what you're doing. That's not what top goalkeepers do. It's a driven ball.
Yeah, and anybody getting under it, most of the time I want it to hit them right off the top of the head and flick it on.
Flick it on, yeah. And so it's a driven ball. And so if you start at a younger age teaching that technique, then it'll just get bigger, better, and longer.
I think also another thing I want to bring up right here too, regarding all this is that like I think a lot of young goalkeepers lose the fact that a goal kick is a start of play. It is a pass. It is you're in possession, and the whole point is to keep possession of the ball.
It's not a Hail Mary.
It's not a Hail Mary. And they just work on, and we obviously understand it with the rule change and everything like that, that it's all about the disguise of the pass, not telegraphing it, and also finding the numbers matchups, finding where the mismatches are, scouting your team and knowing, where the ball is best placed for them.
Mhm.
So many young goalkeepers hit it to the same spot over and over again and wonder why they lose these 50-50 challenges.
Well, because you just pack that spot. And like
Mhm.
as you get better, there are plays that are run off goal kicks, like we said, like flicking it on to a certain part with somebody running through and screens and this and that. So, yeah, it's a great point, Mike. It's a pass in possession. Hold on to possession.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and again, when people see Kailen's, foot skills and everything like that, and the distribution skills, I want everyone to understand that there's the tactical and there's the technical. It's not just the technical. It's not just learning how to strike a ball. I can't tell you how many parents reach out to me asking me to run sessions teaching their kid how to strike a ball. You're going to spend an hour private session with me
Kicking
kicking a ball for an hour.
Go to the park. And
Yeah,
just
that's what I did with my dad.
Go to
All
the park
the
and kick
time.
long balls. That's all you do.
100%. My dad and I
Yeah.
used to go in the backyard, like in the park in the back,
Mhm.
just kick balls for hours. I would just kick it to him, and he would just launch it back, and I would do it again. We'd be out there for hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
I
know.
think, and it goes back to the picture thing again. I love how I'm bringing this all back in today. But
You're
I don't
amazing,
usually do
Susk.
that.
It's because
That's
this
usually
is why
your
you're on
thing.
TV
Like
now.
you're-
That's
You
like-
don't. I don't even
pay
need.
you to do this.
I'm retiring. I'm retiring. Saskia's taking over the show.
Is again back to that. There are even, like I said, there are plays, there are things you do off a goal kick. I'm glad somebody has brought this up because your distribution is, amazing. So, and that furthers down. Like where am I putting this ball for the next pass to get somebody in for a shot on goal?
100%.
Last thing I want to say on that, but again, I don't want to beat this into the ground or whatever, but I also want to bring up just the simple fact that like you can't just do it in a vacuum too, Kailen. Like, you can't just be like, hey, I work on my goal kicks all the time in the backyard by myself. Why am I struggling in games? It's like, well, you need those reps in games too. Let your goalkeepers fail. Let them play short. Let them play long. Let them make diagonal passes. Make them make direct passes. Make them drive-in passes. Paisley knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Thumbs up. Give it thumbs up.
Yeah, right, Shaylee? Right, Paige? Look at Paige. She's probably already driving the ball.
Hey, that kid's got a leg. I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's get back to these pictures right here. So what do we got going on here, Kayla? Because now we're getting in the game.
Yeah, we're a little small-sided action. It looks like it's a narrow session. Working is probably more for the forwards than to attacking. Usually it's always for them anyway, but I think it's like what happens once they get wide and come back in. But that only gives me 2 defenders to work with, so it's playing off their shoulders, playing what I see off them, and how can I use them to kind of make the goal smaller as well.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. And I think I love the fact that we're showing how the warm up of the session design leads to the eventual game, where now you actually have actual pressure from real players. And they're not thinking about what the direction of this session is supposed to be. They're just simply focused on this here.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think like you brought up, it's your organization of this to make the situation better for you, to make that picture like, okay, if you organize early in anticipation that something might happen, and then the goal's smaller, then people are in the right positions, and then you can focus on your task at hand, and not be trying to organize at the same time, or people trying to run and catch up into that space, into that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in that one too, it's like a 3-2 right in front of the goal, and so they were able to get around, which gives me time if they go to the farthest player to be the one who puts pressure. So that is like, how can I organize them in order to give myself the best chance?
And then if you make the save, already knowing what you're going to do with it.
Yep. In a 2v4, I'm getting rid of it.
I know. In a 2v4, yeah. I love small-sided, so I was like, let me make the save because I'm going high.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm going to choose the highest up the field.
Yeah. Just wait, $7v7 $1 million tournament. That's all I'm going to be yelling from the. It's all. Well, I'm not playing. I'm coaching. But that's all I'm going to be saying. Go high. Go high.
Oh yeah, the soccer tournament. Shout out to you, by the way, Saskia. Let's before, if people don't know what that is, just really quickly, why don't you catch everybody up on that, because that's really awesome that you're
I
going to
don't
be coaching
know
for
what
that.
it is either. The U.S. women have a team in the 7v7 tournament in North Carolina at the beginning of June, and Mia's coaching. I'm coaching. Michelle Akers is the water girl. Heather O'Reilly, Lori Lindsay are playing. Christine Lilly is playing. So, and it's for $1 million.
Only you can call them the greatest of all time, the water girl.
Hey, that's how she's written down on the thing. Her and Jen Mead are water girls.
Self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed.
Yeah, self-proclaimed water girls. So
I'm leaving that alone.
It should be a blast. It'll be good to see everybody.
I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with that. And I loved, that whole community sense about it. And obviously, there's a lot of teams that are entering into it. And there's a lot of different players, but this 99 team, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think the majority of the 99 players are coaches on this team.
Okay.
I think Lil's the only one playing, but that doesn't surprise me because the girls will be fit forever. So I think all of us are like me. Carla Overbeck is one of the other coaches. So we got a great coaching staff too. So it's like
elite coaching staff.
There you go.
There's going to have to be a staff players game.
There'll
have to be a staff players game right there. You'll have to put.
I think the whole point was that none of us wanted or able to play anymore. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, you guys just want to go to North Carolina. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's now progress. Obviously, we're looking at a little bit of sessions. We led it all the way to the small sided. Now let's get onto the big field. Now we're talking about 11s. There's a lot of cues here now. Obviously, a lot of things to look at here. Kailen, let's look at this one. This is 77th minute against OL Reign. Lawrence Barnes is dribbling down the wing and plays an in-swing across to Bethany Balser. Look at that drop for depth. And Kailen, what a save right there. Let's kind of break it down from the top.
I feel like I'm like about to analyze this game. I'm like,
this is what you do
Balser's having a really good season, so that's great. It's actually a great save. She is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she gets separation around the 12. You kind of recognize that in swinging ball, there's no way you're going to get there. So you drop for depth. When she gets separation, you're there, and it's just a simple save for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I personally know I'm better when I give myself that depth, give myself more time, but it's also being able to like get back and then have Louie and I have been working on it a ton, just having my toes tucked and have my chest forward to be able to push.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the biggest thing.
I think also this is where your trust comes in as well. Your defenders are positioned properly. You don't, first of all, you wouldn't come for this, but you don't even, it's not even a consideration. Look at the organization. I mean, goal side, everybody's ball side, they're exactly where they're supposed to be. So, you can drop, tuck, get ready and make it's not an easy save. It's a great save still. So it's easy for her, but still good save.
Oh, I mean, I would have made it. I trust me. I'd be very impressed with myself if I made this save. I'd be talking about it for a while.
No, it's something we did work on a lot, knowing their strengths though as well, and just the service that they were going to get into the box and being prepared for that. So we had like the whole week of working on getting either coming or getting back in and getting my toes tucked, my chest forward, being able to push.
Nice.
So I have a question for you, Kailen. So let's say this ball instead is cleared instead of Balser getting separation and getting a header on it, because you dropped and prepared for the shot. What's the next step for you if the ball is cleared? Is it just to check up?
Yeah, it definitely would be to claim some more space so that anything through or in behind I'm ready to come for. But be also just kind of, it would be reading cues depending on where it lands, who it lands with, and how far away from goal they are. I don't want to come up flying out of nowhere. Giving too much in behind myself. So I think it's hard to say exactly what happened, but it would definitely be a forward motion.
And getting your team up.
Yeah.
Because I've been seeing a lot. Yeah. I've been seeing a lot. Well, not a lot, but in some clips, in some of the games, some of the defense, I'm not going to call anything out right now. Some of the defense, they're just hanging so deep. So deep. I'm like, oh my gosh, push up. First of all, give your keeper some space. But you're holding everybody, and it takes so long. So it's the first thing. Get out of my area.
Absolutely. We want that second phase cleaned up as clean as possible, getting pressure on the ball, but they can't get pressure on if they're still sitting in the box.
See, because I think one of the things that I've seen a lot, at least in the youth game, Kailen, is like, so let's say this ball is cleared right there. So let's go right before that. So like the ball comes in right here. So let's say it's cleared right here. I see a lot of goalkeepers, because they had dropped back and they're stuck there, they just allow all that space to be there. So the ball, especially in the youth game, let's say it's not cleared well, and now you're just inviting pressure into that space.
Well, yeah, but she also has to see if that's cleared, if Fishlock's going to get it and do a one-time banger on her. So she can't move yet. But depending on, it all depends on who this goes to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure. But I think either way, the first thing would be to, if it's going to Jess, then making sure I get, looks like Taylor turned and sprinting at her full speed, and whoever that second midfielder is on Fish's or Jess's left, putting pressure on her. So like my first instinct would be how to get the most pressure on the ball.
But this goes back to one of the things you're working on, is that you're getting the pressure on the ball, getting your defense in a sense out of your way. So if she takes a one-time hit, you can see it. So you're not screened, and that has to do with them hanging out too deep. So yeah.
Definitely.
All right, let's from here, let's move on here. Let's see look how excited everyone is. There you go, the clap.
Yeah.
So the double clap.
You got to congratulate the team for doing a good job.
Yeah.
So here we go. So now this is a big rivalry game, which I was at a couple weeks ago, against Angel City, at the Bank. Is it still called the Bank, or what?
BMO.
It's BMO now.
BMO. Sorry. BMO Field. All right. So they're not going to be sponsoring us anytime soon. That's fine.
It's still
all of a sudden my screen goes dark.
Yeah, exactly. So the ball's clipped from the edge of midfield by Danny Weatherhold over the top to an oncoming Savannah McCaskill. What I love about this here is that you're using the communication between you and Germa is so solid, because you kind of recognize based on that angle that she can shield when you call for it. And McCaskill really doesn't have any opportunities here, because first off, Germa's so darn fast. And then second of all, you're there to pick up the pieces. Really, really quality stuff. And then you go down just to protect the moment. So first off, what are you seeing right here?
Protect the moment, man. Ref, I'm just protecting the moment.
The moment.
I'm still recovering from.
I'm gonna have to use that.
I know, not exactly quite sure what I'm saying.
I'll be like, no, Fallon went down because she's protecting the moment. That's what I'll say.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know how much like you'll get on that one, but
no, me either. Okay, I won't use it.
Oh man.
But yeah, okay. I think having that relationship with the center back, like when we make eye contact, honestly, my first steps, if we have the zoomed out version, are backwards, because at the initial point of delivery, it looks like Sav could potentially beat her if the ball doesn't curl inside. And Nay is in a good enough position where I don't need to come. She can put pressure on. She can keep her wide. And as soon as Nay's able to step in front and I see that ball is going to, it's going to be fast enough to come into the box in front of Nay, I can make that decision to come out. So it's like a couple of steps back just to give me that ability to go back in case Sav gets in front of Nay, but also kind of holding in that kind of no man's landish space where I'm still able to come and win it at the top of the 18.
Right. You also have good coverage on the far side.
Yeah, I think there, like, if Sav gets there first, there's no need for me to come.
Yeah, like, so I think the organization, which is obviously done ahead of this, is on point.
And I was going to say, and I wish the camera angle showed that kind of, I don't want to say retreat, but that negative movement by you, Kailen.
Yeah. It's definitely a first. I mean, I'm outside the 18 at some point. I drop into around the PK spot. And then
you can see the switch right there, right, for a quick second.
And then I see Nay's going to get in front of her, and it's going to come into the 18 before anybody gets a touch either way, that I can come and get that.
When are we going to get TV cameras that just focus on?
Well, okay. So with the NWSL, we have 3 angles. So I'll let you know. And yes, MLS has 6. So it would be wonderful. And there is one. I would love one on goal line or behind the goal. But
Yeah, I think the
or-
behind the goal is a good one.
yeah. So
One day
one day,
we'll get there.
trying.
And then
I'll put
then
it in
the
the suggestion box.
Yeah, same.
and then you go down for the positive moment right there.
Yeah. I'm just pausing for the moment.
Pausing for the moment. Oh my gosh.
I get up
all
pretty
right.
quick. I get up pretty quick. It's fine.
Yeah. Actually, what I will say this though, Kailen, you know, I think a lot of young goalkeepers, though, their shielding here, McCaskill still is a threat if you make a meal out of this, if you stay on your feet. And
Oh yeah.
so
And
going
either
down, I
way,
think is,
like a lot of forwards will be cheeky and kind of push into the defenders. So just to be in the safest place for everybody, if I can go down early enough, Nate can give a jump, protect yourself as well. It's just like a little bit of
Yeah, you can't if you
I've been
stay
in
up
that
for this. If
situation
you
where-
were to stay up and try to pick this up, it could be just a debacle.
Oh no, it'd be yeah.
Because if Nate goes the wrong way, you guys run into each other. If McCaskill goes the wrong way, you run into each other. You all three of you run into each other.
We just need the ball safe, secure, tucked away.
Yes.
also the ball's breaking away from goal. So if you tried to pick it up, you're basically going against the movement of the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's a really good point right there. I love how I just said that's a really good point to myself.
I know.
Yeah,
Man,
you got a
in
great
my
point.
head.
You got a
I haven't-
concussion, kid. You got a concussion.
So
We'll let
Kailen,
it go.
I have a minor concussion, so I'm dealing with that. I'm recovering from that from last week. By the way, shout out to
You're
everybody
great.
who's reached out, who found out about it. I'm fine. It's not that serious. It's just I mean, obviously every concussion is serious, so don't take that like that. But I mean, I'm doing okay. I'm progressing and everything and being smart about everything, guys. So, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Anyway,
I just gave you flack for it. I feel bad.
I
now.
know.
I was
I
like,
know.
whatever, Mike. I just got off the plane. I'll talk to you later.
I know.
I'm such a bitch.
Oh, it's all good. All right. So let's move on to this this clip right here. No, actually, not. That's not the one I want to do. Let's see here. Where is it? Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Although this is not bad. Hold on. That's a good save though. All right. And
A lot of micro adjustments.
yes, a lot of micro. Actually, before we go on to this Rapinoe play, let's talk about micro adjustments really quickly, Kailen, because that's something that Saskia brings up consistently on her broadcasts, and I think even the layperson who's watching those shows understands the difference between an adjustment and a micro adjustment.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think it's something that goalkeepers constantly are doing. No matter what you're doing, you're always micro adjusting. You don't have to ever make huge adjustments because a normal adjustment even, because if a forward is adjusting, you don't need to adjust half the time. You need to slightly alter the position you're in my opinion. It's just a slight adjustment of the adjustment that they made. So the ball is moving so constantly and out of our control that we have to constantly slightly change what we're doing in order to be in the best position once that change happens.
Yeah. And then holds on to the ball right there. Speaking of holding on to the ball, we're going to go to this play right here because this was pretty darn amazing right here. This is, I think it's the 73rd minute. Megan Rapinoe dribbles in from the edge of the box, kind of cuts back, dribbles all the way to the top of the 18, hits a laser that starts bending away because you micro adjust right here, Kailen, as opposed to over moving. You're able to stay with it, shift, and then just simply make a simple collapse dive right there, which is pretty darn hard with how hard that ball was hit. So this is pretty darn amazing save. Look at this.
Yeah, and it's definitely helpful with the defensive effort to keep them not being able to get back near post. It gives me an opportunity to get deeper and shift a little bit towards the center so I can move my feet. And then I think another thing that like both teams I work with have been challenging me on is holding, just preventing corners, preventing like any kind of spillage in the box. Like at this point, we have 3 of them.
Hold the ball.
Three of their, I mean, stronger attackers ready to jump on me. Worst case scenario. So, can I make better decisions within that?
You know, I was sitting here going, hold, you know me, and I'm like, hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball. That's my whole thing. And I will say, Didi should have boxed that ball. like parried the ball and continued it on his way. I love Didi and everything, but falling backward, bringing the ball down and ending up falling into your own player, if you continue that one on the way, that probably would have been the right decision there.
I will not argue with that statement.
Yes. So.
Oh man, what a wild game that one.
I can say that.
Hey, what a wild game that what a wild game that one was.
Wild. It was wild. It's hard to make those split-second decisions.
No, it is, and you can
and you're
see
in like the 100-and-something minute.
Yeah, and you could see her whole mindset was, I'm gonna collect this ball, and that's the end of the game. Like
right.
I'm getting to this ball, I'm gonna hold it. Yeah, and it's just it was unfortunate what happened for her.
100%.
Because she had it for it to get knocked out of her hand. So.
Yeah, and to be fair, if that ball hadn't fallen to Bella, it probably wouldn't be as big a scenario that people would be talking about.
Yeah, no,
no, they would just be like,
so anyway, we're not trying to do the Angel City game. I was just thinking about it because we're talking about you holding.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's like those split decisions, and that's what they, I guess, instead of saying like, can I hold everything? It's more like, can I make better decisions in situations where possible to give my team better opportunities.
Yeah, because I think a lot of young players have that. That's something we see with a lot of young players. And here we go back to the pictures, and you have a picture in your head. I'm going to come for this corner kick. I'm going to box it. I'm going to come for this ball. I'm going to hold on to it. And that just, you can't. Those are the times
make a decision.
You can't do that. Yeah.
No.
You can't do it on the final action. You can't say, this is what I'm going to do. You see little kids run and they already have a fist and they're going to go punch it. You can't make those decisions there. That is in the moment.
For sure. Honestly, this play, I had already made I thought I was going to parry it away. Mm. And then as I was going to push, I was like, I think I can get both hands.
Yeah.
And so it's like making those decisions during.
Yeah.
I love what you were all saying in regards to like, you need to process that picture, kind of bringing it back to it, because a lot of young goalkeepers, again, like Suski always says, they take things literally. Their coach tells them, you need to catch the ball when it's coming in at you, or you need to parry the ball, into a good space when it's coming in fast and it's going away from you. It really does determine what the matchups are and where the players are based. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to handle a ball that's coming right at me, and because I spilled that ball, it's in the net. And I really should have boxed that ball away from me, or parry, or played it into a good area, or whatever. Or whenever I've played it into a quote unquote a good area, I just played it back into somebody who was able to put wide service back into the box and just slam it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think those are, some really, really good pictures right there. I've definitely got some more and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna lie, my head's feeling weird. So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Yes, that's right. Advice to players, Kailen, who are constantly missing triggers.
I would say like the advice isn't that I don't want you to think you're missing triggers, because then you're going to be thinking, what did I miss? I would be more intrigued or more inclined to say like the easier it is to see it in film, the faster you'll see it when you go and do it on the field. I think seeing those pictures beforehand in a film situation, it's so much easier for me to be like, yeah, I remember seeing something like this in film a couple days ago, or like I'm going to look for these spaces that I didn't see another day. Like maybe they're playing with 1-6 and there's going to be space for my, deep 10, a 10 and a false 9 at that point to come into that space. Can I look and see if there's space in there, and what are my numerical advantages? Like I know where potential numerical advantages are going to be beforehand based on what I've done before. Mm-hmm. So can I look at those spaces earlier and then try and find spaces that maybe I haven't looked at recently?
Mm-hmm. Suska, any thoughts? Anything
no, absolutely. Even for me, like breaking down film and as an analyst now, like I can see it and see where the matchups are going to be, know where there's going to be space. If certain things, like for me, I'm not playing the game, but for me saying, hey, if San Diego does this against Louisville, they're going to find the spaces here, 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 and here. And so you already know that going in. So if you're going into it saying, hey, if I play this short ball here and, this gets played over here, it's choreography almost. And we should be able to get in over here. And technically, those are the images. Those are the pictures. Those are the 1-2 plays ahead, 1-2 steps ahead. That's the chess match.
It's just having like that comfortability too, like knowing where potential players are going to be. Like I know where my 6 should be when I get the ball back from a center back, and I like without even having to look, like I know where I want them to be. So if I can just take a little peek, like that'll give me 90% of the view that I need, having that previous knowledge of where I want them to be and the peak of where they are right now and where they're running into which space. So like having that like expectation of where you want your players to be, and then having a conversation with them like, this is what I'm seeing. If you pop into this space, you're gonna have a clear pass to an outside back who has all the time in the world.
Yeah, and remember, kids and everybody out there, we have a view of the field. You know, so we have that perspective. So yeah, I think 100% communicate. Yeah, talk to them about it.
I want to
try it and try it again.
I want to
try again.
And I want to say, you know, for any young players out there who are listening, and for parents out there who are filming for their kids, you know, please make sure that you get the moment before, because I see a lot of you catch the final action or the moment right before the final action, and that's what you're showing your young players. But the moment started before all of that, and they really, the reason they're missing a lot of the triggers is because they're starting too late. They're starting too late. And then they're just going to get better and better and better. And they're going to become what I like to call preventative goalkeepers, which is a term that I believe Kailen Sheridan falls into. She's a preventative goalkeeper. I guess every goalkeeper should be.
That's the whole point. Right?
I would hope so.
Man, I'm different
glad
planet.
I fall into that.
Yeah.
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh!
the best goalkeeper in the world. I'm glad you fall into it too.
Oh my gosh! Well, Kailen, thanks for taking all the time with us. I know you got a busy schedule. I know you have a lot going on, not just in goalkeeping wise, but and other things as well too. So you got a very busy schedule going on right now. But if people want to connect with you, where's the best place for people to connect with you?
Honestly, come to a Wave game, but social media.
Nice.
Too.
I love it.
What a good answer.
I got time at Wave games to chat. I don't have time outside.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. And obviously, guys, if you want to reach out to Saskia Weber, you can do it at Saskia on the Union app. It's just at Saskia, like Prince or Madonna. That's the level of fame that Saskia has on the Union app, is just at Saskia.
Because I'm just one name.
You're just one name. Or at Goalkeeper Podcast for a guest or topic suggestion on the Union app. If you're not on the app yet, guys, I don't know what you are doing. Engage, educate, entertain with other like-minded individuals. It is free. We got a lot of cool courses coming up. We actually have a film breakdown thing coming up with myself and Saskia on Saturday, May 13th, where what we do with the big stars like Kailen, we're going to do it with you. So you can register for that, and you can get Saskia to tell you how amazing
to catch
you're
the
doing.
ball and hold it.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to sign up,
the best decision in the
moment.
Oh my gosh! Look at Tanya saying Wave games are where it's at. Look at that.
I mean, that's what I hear. I would love to attend one, but I'm a little busy those days.
There's actually a last question here from Joel here. This is a very important question. If Kailen could choose a theme for the crowd to dress up for a home game, what would it be?
Oh man, we've had some good ones.
I like those sharks. And then was it a hippopotamus or something?
Yeah, there's always a hippo there. The shark.
And the shark.
I saw some chickens the other day, or roosters. There's always some great costumes. We had a bunch of superheroes the other night.
That's cool.
Everybody had these cool capes on and like masks. They were so cool.
I love it.
Theme. I feel like your favorite like TV character would be a good one. Like we'd have some crazy people up in there.
Yeah.
Ooh,
or like movie character.
You could do like
Johnny Depp, like in like Pirates of the Caribbean. I think I'd be Jack Sparrow.
Everybody could do like Ken and Barbie because the movie's coming out and
you're right. That's a good one.
And it's
Ken and Barbie.
It is Southern California.
It is Southern California.
It's this the beach Barbie Ken theme.
Barbie.
Has anyone done Saved by the Bell yet, Kailen?
I don't think so.
Oh, because that's what I was thinking about. Saved by the Bell, California Dreams.
You just aged yourself. All right. Just leave it.
I feel like we have so many options. There are so many things we should do.
Hey, last
got-
night.
Now I'm
Wait.
thinking, what do I want to
Now,
do?
now you're thinking, what
Yeah.
should the
Okay.
theme be?
You
I
may
don't
have to
think
do a
everybody's
post
seen my
online.
theme from last time.
Yeah.
My
You may have to do a
hasn't been
It'd just
exposed.
be funny if you saw like a ton of people in like dressed looking like plastic, like in a bunch of blonde wigs and different
Oh
wigs and
my
like
God.
all the because it's so campy, the movie, and I just crack up every time I see
I'll
it.
give
so.
you a sneak peek of what I was, but it hasn't come out this weekend.
I was just thinking of the Aqua video, the Barbie girl video. That's what I'm thinking
Oh
of.
my
Oh
God.
no, you got to think of the new movie coming out.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen the trailer for that. I've only.
Oh, it's
but-
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. You have to
All right, you
check
ready?
the trailer. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
What?
Oh my god. Wait, what is this?
Oh my
Is that a
God.
Yoshi? Is that a Yoshi?
No, it's me riding a dino.
Oh my god. That's
Where
incredible.
where did you get that? That's awesome.
That's amazing. Are
I
you
don't
allowed?
know
Is
my
that
sources.
is
that
that
your red carpet outfit?
Yeah, see, everybody's going real fancy, and that's just not really me. So I had to do something different.
Yeah,
Is
I know
that-
those
is that-
red carpet things crack me up. I'm like,
They've
I
been
think
getting real hype. I mean, the girl. I mean, everybody looks great. They look great. But I can't keep.
right,
up.
it's like their
I
whole
know
month's
my
salary. Your red
I know my
carpet.
strengths. That's not it. So I'm gonna
I
stick to my goofiness. I'll dress as Casey one week. I'm gonna ride dinosaurs in the next. I'll try.
I
something.
love it. See, I like that. That's awesome.
Oh,
more me.
oh my god. Now is that league regulation? Can you wear that in the game?
Absolutely
You
not. Nor would
I
I
would
want
love to
to
see
for
that.
ability to be able to move.
That would be
Alright.
difficult. Saskia, what do you got coming up?
What do I got coming up? Oh, I actually do have Sunday's Angel City game for Bally Sports West. So all you West Coaster, that's our first game for Bally Sport West. So it'll be nice to get back with Mark Rogandino and call that game. And then I also have the Louisville game on Saturday. I have the OL Reign game on Saturday. There we go.
OL Rain game on Saturday. By the way, shout
Yep.
out to our friend Fallon Tillis Joyce. What a phenomenal performance this past weekend.
Absolutely.
I mean, some insane movements, and I believe she was a player of the match as well too.
There have been
So-
some great goalkeeping so far. There's been some suspect stuff, but been some really nice saves. 5 games in, so
Yeah, we're just taking off the cobwebs. Everybody's getting comfortable again. We're good
And
now.
Kailen, by the way, I love the fact I was able to shout out to Saskia. She got me some great seats right by you, so I was able to watch you against Angel City a couple weeks ago. So that was a big treat, and it was so funny because the person I was with, they were saying, they're like, you seem to be watching more of this person moving without the ball than you are
The ball's down.
the game over
the
there.
ball's at the other end, but
Ball's
like,
at
you're
the-
just
Everybody's
Why-
over here. You're looking over here.
They're like, there's nothing going on there. I'm like, no. Look at her movement. Look at how she's moving away.
Oh, man.
You're
Maybe we should cut the fans loose right now. They're like, I think these
Yeah,
guys
we're-
are just chilling in their living room talking.
I think they're
now.
just
What's
hanging out.
going
All right,
on?
guys. If you want to reach out to me at Michael Magid on the Union or anything non-union related, non-soccer related, michaelmagidcomedy.com. That's all the time on Inside the 18, and we are out. Later, guys.
Yeah.